Hi everyone! The arrival of summer months often means it's time to take a vacation, go on a road trip, and make a lot of memories. But often this much traveling means you're sitting in a car or on a plane and you might be getting really tight within your body. So today I'm going to share 10 yoga poses that you can pick and choose from and incorporate into your daily routine to help relieve the stress of travel. For our first pose today, we're going to come into a modified cow face. So coming into a comfortable seated position. Now you can either do this just on the ground, or if you have a pillow while you're traveling or a block, you can definitely feel free to sit up on that to open up your hips a little bit more. From here, we're going to raise our right hand over our head, bend at the elbow, and bring our hand back towards the center of our back. We're going to bend our left elbow, bringing our opposite hand to meet our right one. Now, if you can interlace your fingers or even just get one finger here, that's great. You're gonna grab on, stretch those shoulders open, open up our chest, tuck our chin slightly, and breathe deeply, inhaling, exhaling. Inhale, open up that chest, stretch those shoulders, open the back up. This is especially great if you've been hunched over in a car or in a plane. You know, you've been sleeping on a plane, dozing off, getting those neck cramps. Then we're gonna release our fingertips, bring our hands back down to the center, bring our shoulders up to our ears, roll them back all the way down the spine, and then release one more time, inhaling them up, rolling them back together and down. We'll move on to the other side. So inhaling left hand up, bending at the elbow, bringing right hand behind you. And you may find in this pose, there's a huge difference. You might be able to grasp hands on one side, and on the other side, there might be a foot of difference. And that's okay. Both sides are totally different. But once again, you wanna inhale, open the chest, open the shoulders. Exhale, inhale, exhale. One more time, deep breath in, deep breath out. Release those arms. Once again, let's roll the shoulders up, together, down, and back. And one more time, this time just up, inhale, big exhale out through the mouth. And that completes our first pose. For our second pose, we're gonna come into a gentle twist. Now this is a great one while you're traveling because you can do it in the car, you can do it while you're on a plane, you can really do it anywhere, and it is a great one to do multiple times throughout the day. So if you're sitting in the car or on a plane, you just wanna inhale up, gently bring one hand to your opposite knee, other hand comes behind you, and just do a very gentle twist, looking behind you. And then right on to the other side, inhaling up, exhaling back. And you can even do it a few times, coming into a bit of a flow. Coming on to the left side one more time, twisting to the right. And then we'll do it for a third time. One last time on the opposite side, inhale up, exhale, twist. And then come back to center and release. Our third pose is also one that you can do while you're traveling, sitting on a plane or in a car. And luckily, it's a fairly small movement, so you don't have to feel embarrassed if people are looking at you. You can really do this anywhere on the go. So sitting in a comfortable seated position, even if your legs are out in front of you, like you're in a chair, you're gonna bring your hands behind you and just inhale, open your chest, bring your shoulders back, slightly drop your head back. Come into a very gentle back bend. Inhale, exhale, and then come all the way forward. And just like in the previous pose, you can do a little bit of a flow here. You might even bring hands onto your knees. Exhale back, inhale forward. Exhale back, inhale forward. One more time, inhale back, exhale forward, and then release. For our fourth pose, we're going to move into bound angle. So you will need a little bit more room for this one. You might not be able to do it while you're sitting in a chair, but it's definitely one you could do on a couch in a hotel room or just on the floor as long as you have a comfortable seat. Now we're gonna bring our feet out in front of us, bring the soles of our feet together, shift our bum back slightly. We're gonna grab onto our feet and almost open them like you're reading the pages of a book. We're gonna sit up nice and tall. Breathe deeply here for 2 breaths in and out. We're opening up our hips here, which can get really tight when we've been traveling. One more time. And also lengthening through our spine. Then we're gonna start to fold forward. So you can just gently let your body fold forward. You might even move your bum back a little bit further, giving yourself a little bit more space to fold. You can also use your arms and your elbows to just gently help your knees a little bit closer towards the ground. Inhale here. Exhale. Again, finding a little bit of a flow. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale. Exhale. 1 more time. Inhale. Exhale. And then inhaling all the way back up. Bringing your legs out in front of you, shaking them out just to release them a little bit. Coming back into a comfortable seat, and that completes bound angle. For our 5th pose, we are going to come into a lunge. So you will need a little bit more room for this. So just make sure you have enough space to extend from your toes all the way from the top to the top of your head. So we're gonna come onto the side here, plant our hands, tuck our toes under, come into a high plank, and then just bring one foot all the way forward, up to your hand. We can drop our back knee here, and then start to lunge forward. You wanna, instead of being rounded or compressed, you really wanna find space here in your spine, lengthening, coming up onto your fingertips. And then with each breath, you wanna inhale up, and exhale, find a little bit more space in that lunge, really opening up the hips here. And if you feel comfortable and you wanna move a little bit further, you can bring both hands to the inside of your front foot, walk that front foot out slightly, and this will give you a little bit more room to lunge a bit deeper. And you also have the option to come onto the blade edge of your front foot, opening up that hip a little bit more as well. We're gonna breathe deeply here, giving our big muscles in our hips a little bit longer to stretch out. We'll do 5 breaths. Inhale, exhale. And you don't have to hold your head up here if it's straining. You can relax it. Just make sure that you're not dropping through your shoulders. You really want to keep those engaged, pressing through your hands. Inhale, exhale. Inhale, exhale. 2 more. Big breath in and out. In and out. If you have your foot out to the side, you want to walk it back into the center. Tuck your back toe under and step all the way back into your plank once again, and then step the opposite foot all the way forward. And also, if you can only get your foot up halfway, don't worry, you can help it up. But you do want to have your ankle directly under your knee. We're gonna find that length in our spine once again. And then once you have that, if you're ready to go a little bit deeper, bring both hands to the inside of your foot, walk that foot out slightly, and you can come onto the blade edge to allow a little bit more space for both hips to open up. Make sure you're not collapsing through your shoulders. Relax your neck. Big inhale, big exhale. Inhale, exhale. 3 more. Two more. Final breath, long, deep inhale. Extend that exhale. Walk your foot back into center. You can come up on to your back toes, come into a plank, and then gently release your knees Come back onto your bum, and then we're ready to move into our next pose. For our next pose, we are gonna come into Milazzo, or a deep squat. Now, this is one of my favorite poses, but it hasn't always been. So if you're finding any resistance in this pose, please just keep going with it, persist, and I promise, hopefully one day, you will like this pose a little bit more. So we're gonna come onto our toes. We're gonna bring our knees nice and wide, and then we're gonna step our feet out a little bit wider as well. Now, depending on how open you are in your hips, you may be up on your toes here, or you may be able to come right down onto your heels. Wherever you are is okay. I've been traveling a lot this week. I've been on 2 planes, and my hips are actually feeling a little bit tight. So I'm gonna allow my heels to come up a little bit today. We're gonna make sure we have a nice long spine. Bum and tailbone is dropped towards the ground. So if you're popping up to have your feet flat, you wanna lift your ankles and drop your tailbone down, long spine. We're gonna bring our hands to our heart. You can use your elbows to push your knees a little bit wider, and then try to lengthen here. Finding as much length in your spine as you can, we're gonna inhale deeply, exhale deeply. One more time, inhale, exhale. And then if you'd like a little bit more of a stretch here, you can actually start to round your spine, walk your hands forward. Your heels should come all the way back here. And you can relax your upper body a little bit, stretching all the way forward. This is kind of like that pose you might do, you know, it's a very intuitive one where you might grab onto the back of a chair and really try to stretch out your back. This will kind of do the same thing for you while also stretching your hips out. Breathe deeply and then walk back in. Then to release out of this pose, you can simply drop back down onto your bum. We're gonna bring our feet out in front of us. Again, releasing our hips slightly here, releasing our legs by shaking our legs out. And you also have the option to just bring your feet nice and wide and windshield wipe your legs to release your hips a little bit more if you do feel any residual tension there. When you feel like you've released enough, you can come back into a seated position and we'll move on to our next pose. For our 7th pose, we're gonna come into a wide leg child's pose. Now, we're gonna be supported in this one. I'm gonna use a bolster, but you definitely don't need one of these. You can just use pillows, something you might have in a hotel room, couch pillows, pillows from your bed, or even, you know, you can get inventive. If you're camping, you could use a rolled up thermarest, for example. You can usually find something that will support you here. So we're gonna move on to the side. We're gonna keep big toes together, spread our knees nice and wide. Then we're gonna bring our support in as close as we can to us, and then gently walk our bodies all the way down, allowing us to be completely supported. And then when you're ready, bring your head all the way down, and then we're gonna breathe deeply here for a few breaths. And halfway through the pose, you just want to switch your ears. So we took 3 breaths on one side. Now we're going to switch our head to the other side and take another 3 breaths. And when you're ready to come out, really use your hands. Walk yourself back up, nice and slow, and then remove your support. You can bring your knees back together and come back into a comfortable seat. For our 8th pose, we're going to come into a supported reclined hero. So we're gonna start in hero pose, and then we're gonna separate our heels so that our feet are in line with the sides of our body. We're also gonna separate our knees nice and wide to start, and then we're gonna grab our support. Once again, you don't need a bolster here. You can use pillows or whatever you have lying around that's gonna be comfortable for you to lie back on. We're gonna bring that right to the base of our spine, and then we're gently going to start to relax all the way back over it, bringing our head down onto our support. And then from here, you can start to gauge how comfortable your knees are. If you don't feel any pain in your knees and they're not popping up off the mat, you can walk them a little bit closer together. But if they are coming off the mat, you want to separate them again until they're back lying down on the floor or the mat. From here, you can open up your arms beside your body, really allowing your chest to open, your shoulders to relax, to find a lot of space that you usually don't have when you're traveling. This one is nice to stay in for a little bit longer if you have the time. Breathe deeply. Keep your chin tucked slightly. Palms can face towards the sky, fingers are relaxed. And when you are ready to come out, we want to be very gentle here, come out the exact same way we came in. Use your forearms to support you. Slowly come up one arm at a time, bring your head up last, moving your support out away from you. And then you can bring your knees back together and complete the pose. For our second last pose, we're gonna come into figure 4. So we wanna start on our bums here, and then we're gonna roll all the way down onto our back. So roll down nice and gently. You're gonna tuck your shoulder blades under, find a comfortable spot. Feet should be about hip distance apart here. And again, you should be able to kind of graze your heels. Most poses that we start in like this, you wanna have your heels about that distance away from you. And then for our first side, we're gonna lift our left leg up over our right, creating the shape of a 4 here. We're gonna keep that left foot flexed throughout. And we're gonna bring our right knee towards us, interlacing our hands behind our leg. We're gonna use our arm strength to pull our leg towards us here. You can use your left arm to resist your left leg. That's gonna help to open up your hip a little bit more. And this is a great alternative to pigeon pose, which is a really wonderful hip opener, but can cause issues for some people's knees. So when you're traveling, it's a little bit of a gentler option. You wanna leave your right foot completely relaxed. You can even do some ankle circles here as well. Keep your chin slightly tucked. And we wanna make sure our right leg stays in line with our hips. So if you're shifting way over to one side or the other, just bring yourself back so that knee is right in line with your hip. Bring your knee towards you a little bit deeper. 2 more breaths here. 1 more. And then release your leg back down. We're gonna uncross our opposite leg, and we can just windshield wiper our knees before coming onto the other side. Make sure to bring your heels back in fairly close to your body before you start. Make sure hips and knees and ankles are all in line. We're gonna cross right leg over our left, keeping that foot flexed. And then inhale, bringing left leg towards you, interlacing your hands behind your leg, making sure your left foot stays nice and relaxed. And again, using that right arm to resist your right leg, making sure knee is in line with your hip. And then with each breath, bringing your knee a little bit closer to your body. Inhale. Exhale, find that space. Inhale. Exhale, finding space. 1 more time, inhale. Exhale. And then releasing both legs back down, uncrossing, and coming into those windshield wiper movements one last time. Before we come into what's arguably the most important pose, looks the easiest, usually the hardest, our final relaxation, which is definitely important when you've been traveling, you've been on the go, your brain has been trying to keep track of so much information. We really want to make sure to unwind and relax here. So separate your feet nice and wide, arms nice and wide, palms face up, shoulder blades come underneath your body. On an inhale, we're gonna scrunch up our feet as much as we can, Hold the breath, and then exhale, release everything. We're gonna do the same with our hands. Inhaling, scrunching our hands up into little fists, all the way until they shake. Hold our breath, and then release everything. For our last one, we're gonna scrunch up our face. Don't worry about what you look like here. Take a deep inhale, scrunch your face. Hold your breath. And then on your exhale, release it all. Release your tongue away from the roof of your mouth. Relax your brow. Unclench your jaw. Tuck your chin slightly. Try to imagine your body being as heavy as it possibly can on the ground. Try to let your breath return to normal. Let your thoughts leave your head. Your mind should be calm. And when you're ready to finish, we're gonna bring knees into our chest. Give ourselves a really great hug. And then gently roll all the way back up to a seated position. Come back to the front. And it's always nice, even if you've only done one pose or if you've done the whole sequence, to just find a really centering seat at the end of your practice. Close your eyes, bring your hands to your heart, roll your shoulders down away from your ears, lift your chest, tuck your chin slightly, and say thank you to yourself with a namaste. I hope these poses will help you to stay nice and limber throughout all of your trips this summer. Now, if you're looking for some other poses that you can do while you're on vacation to stay nice and fit, you can be sure to check out the description box below. And don't forget to subscribe because I've got lots of great yoga sequences coming up, and I can't wait to share the mat again with you very soon.